Arrange the silences for Oliver. She could hear it before she even opened her eyes, a soft, steady percussion against the window pane, like someone tapping a finger gently on a wooden desk, unhurried and content. When she finally pulled back the quilt and pressed her feet to the cool floorboards, the world outside was the color of pewter and pale sage, the trees in the garden bowing slowly under the weight of a gentle gray sky. She didn't mind. In fact, somewhere deep in her chest, she felt something loosen. The small, tight knot that lived there on ordinary days, on busy days, on days that demanded things of her. A rainy afternoon asked for nothing at all. She padded to the kitchen in her socks, the old wool ones with a small hole in the left heel she kept meaning to mend. The kettle went on. She stood beside it with her arms folded, watching the window above the sink run with thin silver streams, and she felt, for a moment, like the only person in the world, in the best possible way. The tea was chamomile and honey. She carried it in both hands to the sitting room where the reading chair lived. A wide, soft armchair in faded mustard yellow that had belonged to her grandmother. It sat beside the bookshelf like an old friend who had nowhere else to be, and Maya lowered herself into it with the particular satisfaction of someone who has decided with great intention to do absolutely nothing important. She had a stack of books on the small table beside the chair. She picked up each one, read the back, set it down. This is its own quiet pleasure, the choosing. There was the novel she'd been meaning to finish for 2 weeks, a thin collection of short stories, a travel memoir about a woman who walked the length of the Norwegian coast alone. She chose the short stories. They felt right for a day like this. Small, contained world. She could step in and out of like rooms. Outside, the rain deepened. It drummed against the roof now, more insistent, filling the house with a low, continuous murmur that was somehow both sound and silence at once. Maya tucked her legs beneath her, pulled a knitted blanket across her lap, and began to read. She lost track of time the way you only can on certain afternoons. The stories carried her places. A fishing village in Portugal, winter kitchen in 1940s Warsaw, a garden in late September where 2 old women argued tenderly over the name of a flower. Between each story she paused, looked up at the rain-blurred window, let her thoughts drift and settle like leaves on still water. She thought about nothing in particular. She thought about everything loosely. It was the kind of thinking that feels less like thinking and more like breathing. Around what she guessed was 3 o'clock, the light had gone a deeper shade of silver. She unfolded herself from the chair and went to make a second cup of tea. In the kitchen she found the heel of a sourdough loaf and toasted it, spread it thick with salted butter that melted in slow, golden pools. She ate it standing at the counter, watching a small bird take shelter under the eave of the garden shed, puffed up and perfectly still. Me too, she thought, and smiled. Back in the chair, she didn't open the book again right away. Instead, she sat with the mug warming her palms and let herself simply be inside the sound of the rain. There was something almost musical about it. The high, thin note of it hitting the glass, the lower note against the roof tiles, the occasional deep pour of it rushing through the gutter downspout outside. A small, domestic symphony. She thought about how her mother used to say that rain was the world's way of taking a slow breath, and she She hadn't understood that as a child, but she understood it now. The room around her held its own quiet warmth, the books on the shelves, the small amber lamp she'd switched on at some point without quite noticing, the faint smell of the toast still hanging in the air, the old armchair with its worn armrest smoothed by years of hands. All of it felt like an exhale, like the house itself was relaxed. She thought she might write something later. She'd been keeping a journal lately. Nothing serious, just small observations. The way the coffee tasted on Tuesday mornings, a conversation overheard on the bus that made her laugh, a line from a poem that had lodged somewhere behind her sternum and wouldn't leave. On days like this, words came more easily. They floated up without being summoned, unhurried and soft-edged. But that was for later. For now, there was only this. When she woke, the rain had slowed to a whisper. She didn't remember falling asleep, but she must have. The light was different now, the silver softened to a pale, quiet gold at the edges, the way it gets in the late afternoon when the clouds begin to thin. The book had fallen shut in her lap. The tea was cold. The blanket was tangled around her feet. Maya stretched, slow and cat-like.